for us than returning students safely to school for instruction.
The governor outlining what it's going to take to get kids back in the classroom. Good evening, everyone. I'm Phil Sanchez, and thank you for joining us tonight on this Wednesday. Governor Eric Holcomb also announcing today a statewide mask mandate that goes into effect July 27th. We'll have much more on that in just a few minutes. But first, we have team coverage tonight of what this upcoming school year is going to look like. We start with News 8's Julia Dang.
Hey there, Phil. Things could look very different this fall. We could be seeing student pods and other recommended changes, including one-way hallways. That's if districts choose to reopen, a move encouraged by the governor.
Good afternoon, Hoosiers.
Governor Eric Holcomb removing his mask to announce a statewide mask mandate. Beginning Monday, it applies in all public locations, including schools.
We're asking our kids and their teachers to mask up.
Students in grades 3 and up are ordered to mask up, along with all faculty, staff, volunteers, and visitors. Face coverings must be worn during extracurriculars and on school buses. Exceptions include medical conditions, disabilities, and strenuous physical activity.
I don't like it. It makes me hot when I'm in the store.
It may be uncomfortable, but 6-year-old Parker Thompson still wears his SpongeBob mask. He's entering first grade in Avon, Indiana's first district to close after a student tested positive for COVID-19 back in March.
I'm not going to school.
Parker's mother, a nurse, is keeping him home and doing e-learning.
Also consider the impact.
Governor says he hopes virtual options are only temporary, and the goal should be to reopen safely.
There are hybrid approaches and face-to-face approaches, and we hope phased-in approaches, bringing the youngest back first.
But experts say anyone, even kindergarten-age children, can spread COVID-19.
I do have a sister who works at a daycare, and they are a little bit younger than that age.
Beth Ann Benefil says her sister returned to work in Brownsburg last Monday and had COVID symptoms by Friday.
She is still waiting for her results and is still sick.
She applauded the governor's mask mandate, but worries about her 4 grandchildren going back to class, even with masks on.
I would prefer for them to stay home a little bit longer.
And reopening guidelines released by the state today include recommendations on how to handle a positive case. If more than one student in any given classroom tests positive for COVID-19, the entire class is recommended to quarantine for 2 weeks. There is no threshold for closing a school. That will be left up to individual districts. Live at the State House, Julia Dang, Wish TV and WishTV.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook.
Julia, thank you very much. A group of senior student athletes are fighting for the chance to play sports at North Central, even though their classes will be online. Several joined Washington Township's virtual board meeting, but did not get the chance to speak. News 8's Demi Johnson live outside that school, and the board didn't budge tonight, Demi.
Yeah, school board members didn't make an official vote tonight on sports or no sports. So for right now, that suspension still stands. But board members did bring up that in Governor Holcomb's mask mandate announcement today, he said COVID-19 cases are going up. Members said while they don't want virtual school and they don't want to cancel sports, they have to let that data help them make their decisions.
We acknowledge that e-learning is a given for the start of the school year. However, we do not agree with the cancellation of fall sports seasons, musical programs, and other programs that begin in the fall.
North Central High School seniors.
Many North Central students use extracurricular activities to stay away from potential threats.
Fighting to get back on the field in a video sent to the Washington Township School Board.
This affects thousands of people. This is a school with over 4,000 students.
Dan Green is the father of 2 student athletes, Grace and Gabby. Gabby graduated this year. She ran track and was part of North Central's 2019 championship team. She lost part of her senior year because of the pandemic, but her younger sister Grace, who also runs track and is a football manager, still has a chance.
We're all very respectful of the position they're in. It cannot be easy, but we should have been given more of an argument as to why they made the decision they did.
At a meeting on July 13th, the Washington Township School Board voted to suspend all in-person extracurricular activities, athletic events, and programs.
As parents, it's telling the people that voted against athletics and opening school that they don't trust us.
Green says students who have already graduated can also be seen in the video, including Sammy Logan, daughter of former North Central Athletic Director Paul Logan, who died from COVID-19 in April.
Also shows our sense of community and togetherness despite obscurity during these certain times.
I think that comes from a family that is immersed in sports and understands just how important it is.
At tonight's meeting, the board said for now it's sticking with the decision, but not all members agree with it.
I also think that I'd rather not open, close again, open, close again, open, close again, when the data is still sort of floating out there. And I think right now it's all been increasing.
The issue of something like sports, it seems like it makes sense to reconsider.
Green just wants a decision made soon.
These are kids that count on sports, running, exercise to get rid of the stress they already carry around of a modern teenager, and there's a lot of it.
School board members say although they already voted to start school online, they still want to wait until they hear from Dr. Virginia Kane or Mayor Joe Hogsett to make any further decisions. Live in the North Side, Demi Johnson, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Oh boy, tough all the way around. Demi, thank you very much. Monday, Indiana's statewide mask mandate goes into effect. As Julia mentioned earlier, it applies to anyone 8 or older, indoor public spaces, commercial spaces, or transportation services. It also applies to public spaces outside where people cannot socially distance.
We want businesses to stay open. We want more Hoosiers to continue this trend of going back safely to work. We don't want to dial it back or put it in reverse, or as some are, shutting down again. Face coverings can and will help us blunt this increase. It has in other places around the country, indeed around the world.
Now, there will be exceptions for medical purposes, strenuous physical activity, eating and drinking. So what about enforcement? Well, the governor's goal is education first. But under the order, not wearing a mask will be a Class B misdemeanor. That could mean jail time and an up to $1,000 fine. Well, the state of Indiana reporting 14 more coronavirus-related deaths. They happened between June 19th and July 21st. 2,666 Hoosier deaths are now linked to this pandemic. The Indiana State Department of Health says there are 763 new cases. That brings the total number of cases to 58,673.